All right, much appreciated, Coach, as we welcome all of you to our exclusive coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Redskins. It's the final 3 weeks of the season, still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. This is taken at the 3. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down. With a lot of the media, Charles, ourselves included, starting to prep those MVP ballots, you wonder if last week's performance, which he admitted was not very good, if that hurt him at all coming down the stretch.
Less than 50 yards on the ground in last week's game that you referenced, and let's face it, if he has another game like that, we'll erase him from the MVP discussion. He won't even be talked about anymore. He has to bounce back with 100-plus in this one in order to stay in that race.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Let's go.
On second down, here's Wentz. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Now that screen there on second down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there because trying it is one thing. We can second guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize that it's broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the first down on third down. That way you don't lose any yardage.
Now Wentz. Found his target. It's Anderson. Anderson loses the football into the Redskins. Have it they do.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this. And work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
And now the Eagles going to signal for a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. A good starting spot for the Redskins as they come up 1st and 10.
All right, here we go. Green 39. Green 39. Hot.
First carry for Christian McCaffrey. And he's able to find some room as they get him down after a good run. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Lucky 56. Set. Blue 90. Blue 90. Gone.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. On first down, this is McCaffrey. And tough sledding. He'll get maybe a yard. Stop short of the 35.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout. And that means your offense has to keep pace.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. A good pickup there, a 22. Redskins with their first trip to the red zone thus far. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 15. Pitching it out to McCaffrey. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Another good run there for a guy who, remember, on Wednesday was named NFC Offensive Player of the Week for what he did a week ago.
Yeah, and you know it takes some solid runs and some extra special ones in order to win that type of an award. I think he's locked in and wants to get it done a second time.
Now the first carry for Ronald Jones. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. The 6 yards on the pickup, and it leaves him with a 1st and goal.
Yeah, once more, strong running. Excellent blocking at the point of attack. Look at a nice little drive brewing right here.
They'll try to run with McCaffrey. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington. A great play there. Taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Redskins have taken a first-quarter lead. Tucker with the extra point. And it's now a 7-0 game. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at the 40. Now they try the right side here. And he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here. And if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs. Run some plays, run some clock. Allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
82.
Wentz to throw on 2nd down. That's caught by the big tight end, Dallas Goedert. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. First connection there of the afternoon for those two, and it's good for a 1st down. On 1st down, they'll run it on the draw play. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. A gain of 3, second down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, it's working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
Lynch flag 2, Lynch flag 2. Gray 15, Gray 15. Flag.
On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. The Eagles into the red zone for the first time. It's 1st and 10 from the 12. To throw, it's Wentz. Dancing to his left. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
A few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. After the sack, here's 2nd and 11. And they'll go on the ground. And he's going to get about 4 down inside the 10 to the 9.
You've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
81.
They fake the give. Now Wentz. He'll buy some time right. And this is caught. Touchdown, Philadelphia. In for the score. And the Eagles are within an extra point of tying this thing up. And with the rules as touchy as they can be, it's so hard to complete a diving catch in the end zone, but he just did it pretty well.
How about him getting his body, his hands, everything underneath and around the football without it hitting the ground and causing some doubt in the minds of the people who have to look at this and possibly review it. What a tremendous effort and a great catch.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And here come the Redskins now. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense get the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3 and out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field.
And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and it'll be second and very short.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've got to hit the jackpot there.
On the ground, McCaffrey. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
They'll look to throw now on first down. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. They'll drop to throw. Rifle one, and that's caught inside the 30. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That goes for a gain of 31.
We just saw him hit a big play there on a deep post. And most of the time, the post isn't available because usually you have defenders in the middle of the field. If you throw enough curls and crossing routes and underneath routes, I know from experience, they get tired of watching those balls get caught. They start to creep up a little bit, and that's when you can hit them big over the top.
This is McCaffrey, and he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Tackle that time by Ronnie Harrison.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
On 2nd down, McCaffrey. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up first downs.
Detroit!
Now a first down carry by Jones. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Ronald Jones with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Redskins are able to strike for 6. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how we're going to slow down this running game because on that particular play, they had no answer.
Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes Eagle offense now as they get set to take over here. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Wentz now on first down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. They got pressure there and only rushing 3.
And there's a defensive coordinator right now who is celebrating not just getting home with 3 there, but realizing if that's the type of pressure he can get in the entire game, then his pass defense is going to be excellent. You're dropping 8. Where are you going to go with the football?
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Wentz will try again on 2nd down. He's going to air one out. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10.
Sunday! 81, 81! Stat! Trey 15!
On play action, Wentz. Wide open receiver complete. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Go! Black.
Throwing on first is Wentz. Escaping the pressure, and he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 48, and his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line. Well, when you start thinking of guys that are in the mix for Defensive Player of the Year, I think you use him as Exhibit A. Maybe he's not the leading guy right now, but he's at least on the periphery and deserves to be in the discussion.
And because of that, he's looking at a game today where in order to make that big move and maybe become the guy, he needs multiple takeaways, multiple big plays, things that get our attention and reverberate for weeks to come.
The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey, and he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. The tackle is made by Adoree Jackson. Two minutes to play here in the first half. My good friend Charles and I right back at you after this.
Yeah, baby! Yeah! Leopard!
This is McCaffrey on the give. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Back 99 Philly, here we go!
Back to the ground on first, it's McCaffrey. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. And it's Reuben Foster in on the tackle.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside
Here we
later.
go! Green 39!
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. And the Eagles are going to go ahead and take another timeout, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime.
Detroit!
He'll drop to throw. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number one.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. And they'll run it here. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down. First down now, but that clock rolling. Right back to him on first down. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 12 yards there as they move the chains. The Eagles hustling to the line, clock rolling.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him.
And the Redskins do get to him. He goes down for a sack. Now Wentz signaling frantically, let's get to the line.
Shorty.
Now a play fake. Wentz rolling to his right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. That's caught inside the 20. So we've reached halftime here in D.C. in our nation's capital with a home team, the Redskins, on top. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. The Redskins in a good spot. They've got the lead. They will get the football as the second half gets underway. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Redskin offense now as they get set to begin another possession. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
He wasn't ready.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. He's able to rattle off 6 on the carry, and that'll get him to 3rd and 4.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
They'll look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll give it up to McCaffrey. And he's got it up over the 40 to the 41. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. I think you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle.
Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
2 straight 4-yard runs, and it is steadily working the ball downfield. To me, they're staying right on schedule. First down, you want 4 yards or more to set up the rest of the drive. They're getting exactly that.
He didn't seem in a rush. I guess they just didn't know where the play clock was.
I think you're right about that because there was no hurried movements there, right? No up-tempo at all. Clock just ran out. I think he was as surprised as maybe his bench was.
Not ideal there. That delay of game backs him up 5 yards, so now they need 7 yards on third down.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
He'll look to throw. Throwing right, and that's complete. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Set. Blue, landing.
McCaffrey. So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty.
Now, Barney.
They'll set up to throw. He's going to fire one deep left sideline. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
The Redskins on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. They're going to look to throw. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. They do get 10 back, but still a ways to go on 4th. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Here's Tressway now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Eagles now as they get set for their first possession of the 2nd half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance really to set the tone here in quarter 3.
They can really take charge, can't they? And this is probably how it was drawn up at the half. I think we can go inside the locker room, all right? And I think we would see up on the grease boards, stop them defensively, get the ball back for the offense, and let's go downfield and score. Seems simple, right? The last part, we have to find out that's going to happen. But the first part worked to perfection. Did exactly what they wanted, and now their offense has to pay it off.
See if they can get the latter 50%. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3. Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. Now they go screen. It's complete. Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's 3rd down. So nothing there on the screen that time.
That means all that great acting they tried on offense went for naught, didn't it? Because you have to try and influence them. Make them think that you're doing something else. Make them think that they can get to the passer by letting them by and then setting up the screen and getting downfield. Didn't happen at all. Give a lot of credit to the defense for not tumbling to that one.
And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. Just a gain of a couple, but good enough to keep the drive rolling. So first and 10 now from the 30.
Win spot 3, win spot 3. Here we go. Waiting.
Now a play fake here on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. Back to the air on second down. Wentz flushed out right. That's complete over the middle to Anderson. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there, a 22.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
They go play action here on first down. Eluding the pressure right. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, it's going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
Now a run with McCaffrey. And brought down to get it to their 30-yard line.
First down, he's got to have a nickname, doesn't he? How about the human first down machine? I think that fits.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he'll take this inside the 30 to about the 29, maybe the 28-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Here's McCaffrey. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
They'll run with McCaffrey. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Well, I think you'd have to say defensively, these guys are doing their job pretty well, right?
Yeah, we talked about them holding them under 20 points, right, on defense. And they've done that. They've held them. The problem is their own offense hasn't answered their challenge, which was to score more.
Yeah, exactly. I remember you saying magic number was right around 20, and the offense has been the issue. You're right. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. 4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal. I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Redskins. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Redskins are going to add on to their lead. Tucker now to add the point after. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line, so they felt like they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here?
Hey, empty! Empty!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Here's Wentz to throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. They're giving those short little routes. Tackled him in bounds, too. They're just not wanting to get beat over the top.
Yeah, and if you can't really get downfield, take the short routes. But now you got to have guys who can actually break tackles and increase those gains.
On 3rd down, it's Vaughn. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stuffed them for almost no gain.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. This is taken at about the 14. Now a late flag comes in as they got him down via the face mask, and that'll give him even better starting position. They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration. Not a good play.
Excellent field position after the face mask penalty. 1st and 10 out near midfield. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And across the midfield stripe into Eagle territory. There to stop him on the defensive side, Lorenzo Carter.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line, and I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. Now it's the fullback. This is Kyle Juszczyk. And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much as he's down to the 48.
Not a lot of headway on that carry, but when you're dealing with a defensive line that can cover up your center, sometimes you got to think about getting out of that play. Not going to be a lot of space when that happens.
Defense still with 3 timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them here as the kneel down comes. And Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for Washington, they continue to make their case as a Super Bowl favorite as they move to 13-1. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, for Philadelphia, this was basically just an exhibition game for them as they'd already clinched home field advantage. And they will be at home next week to take on the New York Giants. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.